Right, so we have the header component. It's not looking great yet, but at least we've got something, which is a good start. So essentially, what we're going to do is we're going to give this some room to breathe, and we also going to add a box shadow here. Now, if you're new to box shadows, they're not too bad. I guess they're quite straightforward, but we're going to quickly go through that. So I found this on CSS Tricks, and I think it's quite straightforward. But I thought we'd go through it anyway, just to make sure we're on the same page. Right. So looking at the syntax here, we're looking for four, or I guess is it 5 values here. The first one is the horizontal offset. The second one is vertical offset. Then you have the blur radius. There is an optional spread radius, and the last one is a color. So what we're going to do, of course, we're going to ignore the first one because we don't care about the horizontal offset, because all we want is we want a box shadow below the box or whatever we have. So as you can see here, a positive value means the shadow will be below the box. And that's what we're interested in. And the blur radius, of course this is required, and 0, as you can see, is the sharpest you can get. And as you increase the numbers, as you increase the value of the blur radius, the shadow will extend essentially. We're not interested in the spread radius because I don't think we want it any bigger than what we set the blur radius to. But as you can see, you can increase or decrease the size. And the last thing is the color. So we're going to do, we're just going to use black and set the opacity on that, which I think is pretty straightforward. Right, so we're back in VS Code and we're looking at the header.component.scss. I'm going to paste this in and we'll talk through it. So essentially, as we saw, we're not interested in horizontal offset. We'll set the vertical offset to 2 pixels, and then the blur radius we'll set it to 3 pixels, and the color is black, opacity 0.2. And also we've set the margin, so top and bottom we've set it to rem, left and right we've set that to 0. Right, let's look at what we've done in the browser. So looking at this in the browser, it looks pretty good. I think we can add a tiny bit of space below this, just give it some padding, or we can actually keep it like that. I don't think it's the end of the world. So that's looking pretty good. Let's look at this on mobile. Yes, I think we can reduce the font size of the H1 text on small screens, and I think that will make it look slightly better. So let's do the next. Right, so back in the SCSS file, we are going to style the H1 text. So what I've got here is the font size is set to 1.2 rem, and the font weight is set to bold. And on large screens, well, on small to large screens or medium to large screens, whatever you want to call it, we change the font size to 1.8 rem. Let's have a look at it, and if we need to change it, we can also change it, but I think this will look a lot better than what we've got. Right, so looking at this, this is the handsets or mobile layout, which I think is pretty good. And if we look at large screens, yeah, that's decent. So I think we'll stick to that. You can always change the font size if you don't like it, but I think this is good enough for now.